This is my third video about drone warfare. I've been unable to release this footage for over 6 months. Unfortunately, some of the people you'll see in these videos are now dead. The territory is now Russian. Drone warfare is the single most effective way that you can support Ukraine, that you can support us in our war effort. I hope you'll enjoy. I hope you'll come to your own conclusions. And at the end, I'd like to share my conclusions and share some truths that are not in my personal interest to share. Thank you. What kind of prick parks a BMP in front of you?
What the fuck is this?
I don't know what that... Oh, that's a door handle for an ambulance I wrecked last month. Jesus. All right, let's do this. I'm just trying to enjoy a shawarma, and look at this. Jesus. No! Jack, how many times do I have to say no flying bomber drones in the house?
You're not my dad!
Wait, see what I have to deal with.
This is...
I don't know, there's lots of shawarma.
There's 2 shawarmas for you guys, 2 burgers, and 1 nugget for you, sir.
What? Look at these ass clowns.
No, it's angle. It says angle.
Get out of the way, smart Asian guy. Hey. You're supposed to be anonymous.
Hey, we gotta change that battery.
Did you get shakes or no?
Yeah. Go there.
No, nice. Fuck. I'll just have whatever Tross made.
I'll go eat there, man. Come on.
Did you call Sergey for his birthday already?
No, but I should.
We already did.
Huh?
Already did.
Oh, now it's an air.
Is that Sergey 1 or Sergey 2?
Sergey
Air is gonna be a bitch, dude.
Sergey 1.
Dude, you gotta fly it in air.
Jesus! Fuck. Stop laughing.
One more time. I'll just shoot at myself, alright.
Jesus!
Fuck my life. Oh, isn't too bad. Got a little control there, a little more.
Could be worse. No.
I think this is durable, man.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
It's
Let's
pretty
go
cool.
again.
It's QC first. Jack, hold it in your hand.
Fuck no.
I'll get this done.
Don't be a pussy.
Trust me, I got this. Oh, those blades, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my only worry is the blades.
Good. Y'all film this way? Yeah. All right. This is for Canada.
I hate my life.
Oh, watch this.
Fisherman.
Oh, hey, I got the safety on. Here, turn around. I'll shoot you in the ass. Fucker.
Fuck you, Dad. No guess.
No gas.
No guess.
You're lucky today, Jack.
Today I'm a winner. I am feeling lucky, man.
I don't know, but you parked a BMP in my parking spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's ours now.
It's like dickheads.
Leave it in my driveway. It becomes mine.
Got people like Jack here. Get all these grenades out of my car. I'm a humanitarian.
You want to get this some
Fucking hell. Jesus. Get these out of here.
Yes.
Fucking NATO. Nice.
The Polish one.
Cool.
I didn't get them.
Ah, you got the Italian ones.
2 people to take 2.
2 people to take 2.
Go ahead.
It takes 2, baby.
This one's light.
Hold on. 4 boxes? Mine.
What is this?
I don't know. We'll have to open it up. It's like a lucky dip.
I don't know, man.
Grenades in the kitchen.
Yes. We got like 20 of these bad boys.
20 of these bad boys.
Well, 20 in that case.
That's pretty nice right there, that bad boy.
Yeah. Cheer.
Okay.
F1.
F1.
More F1s.
Там потрібно.
Got some.
Very good.
The classic Soviet F1.
Good. Soviet Union. What have you got, Jack?
F1s. Pineapples.
Do we have anything NATO?
We got some more F1s.
More F1s.
Technically, the bean can is Polish. But...
Yep. Wait, where are the?
What an ugly motherfucker.
Right here.
Oh, very good. And these make Peter go boom?
Oh man, and these ones are fucking amazing. So
Are
these
they Polish?
Yeah, these are the Polish ones. We had M67s too. We can go get like 20 of those, but it's not really worth it. They're hard to drop. These things are fucking great for dropping, especially when the blindashes are shallow.
You're a beautiful man. I wish I was Ukrainian. You're Ukrainian. Why can't you do that?
I'm just incapable of dropping.
Pussy.
All these drones get attached to. I'm sorry. All these grenades get attached to our drones. These are our droppers, our bombers. We got many others, like these. Basically the bigger ones, because they can carry more, they can go further. We're working on a system to drop mortars. These are our kamikaze FPVs.
All kamikazes.
Yeah. There's 85 more on the way. Our friends got us a really nice hookup on those. That'll be pretty awesome.
Very good, very good.
I'm not gonna go too far into detail in terms of frequencies and stuff, because if the wrong people watch this, that might be, I don't know how much bad news it is, but it's just better to keep that stuff.
What,
on the
like
low.
bidders?
Yeah, so like if they figure out what we're in and they figure out what frequencies we're running on, that might be problematic for us.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, essentially we have 2 teams, and we're gonna be working hard. We'll show you the next couple days.
We'll get to work.
В бойовому. В бойовому.
Що означає, вибач?
В бойовому. Вибух. Спробую взяти.
Все, вона звілась, так, виходить?
Вибух.
Так, бачу. Капець.
Спробую взяти. Вибух.
Tell me about the bomb room.
It's probably one of the more dangerous rooms in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Probably one of the more advanced, munitions making areas. So there's a couple different kinds of munitions that we use.
Yes.
The main kind of munition that we use, because we are FPV pilots, are similar to this. FPVs are very effective against destroying armor.
Yes.
These are anti-armor rounds.
These ones here specifically.
I'm not gonna really go into describing them too much, but basically.
But we've got plenty of it in this country.
Yeah. Basically, there's a penetrating piece, a bunch of explosive on the end. There's a detonator that goes on the back of this thing.
Yes.
A little chip that reacts to any kind of contact.
Yes.
When the FPV drone hits any kind of armor, boom goes Peter. Similar concept here, except just a different kind of model. They work the same way. They have a piece that is propelled forward, depending on what kind of armor you're targeting, is depending what kind of piece you're going to be using to penetrate that guy's, that armor. So there's also antipersonnel, and these are thermobarics.
That's a thermobaric.
Yep.
A homemade thermobaric.
Yeah. Don't know how they make them. I don't make these things, man. I just come here and pick them up and go blow up beaters.
Yes.
This bad boy
Plus,
is
plus.
very effective. You want to fly these basically inside of like a blindage. You want to fly these in highly concentrated, personnel areas. They're gonna have the most damage. They also have a bunch of shrapnel. They're stuck to the explosive on the inside, so when this goes off, it becomes very effective.
Understood.
And I don't know how to say this in English, but it's called осколочна погаснення. Basically just shrapnel.
Yes.
So if you're getting assaulted by Peters and shit, basically you're gonna fly this into the area they're gonna be. The area of effect is around like 50 to 75 meters, depending on how it's made.
Yes.
But to deter Peters from assaulting your position, this is a very effective way. There's also ones that we make that sit on the bottom of the drone.
So we got claymores.
You can remotely detonate in the air,
Yes.
and the explosion will cover down.
And the claymore beads just shoot out as a claymore does.
Exactly.
But from the air, so maybe even more effective with no obstruction.
Exactly. Because like what happens when you go when you hear a boom, you get to the ground, right?
Of course.
I mean, like when you get to the ground, you're probably gonna have a more chance of getting hit because there's more surface area.
Of course.
So that's a very nice and effective way.
You like that.
I love it.
Show us some of Joe Biden's goodness.
So this is a Joe Biden.
This is what we still got from America.
M67's bad boy that we remade into a device that when impacts to the ground.
Yep. Just a
Detonates.
simple pin, metal on metal, causes the detonation.
And then the obviously little shrapnel pieces that we put around the side to cause a little bit more damage to those.
And they've got a projectile range of at least 50 meters.
I would say maybe like effectively like 30 to 40.
Yeah.
Like they usually say like, we'll just say 30 to be safe. And then these are my favorite.
These are your personal favorite.
these are so great against blindashes. You drop this in the beginning of the blindash.
Yeah.
They're really safe to use, a lot safer than a lot of the shit that's made here. You just pull
3D
this down.
printed.
Yeah, all 3D printed. Well, as safe as it gets, I guess.
Yeah.
Attach this to the grenade, drop it. Once it hits, punctures, detonates, boom goes Peter.
And the fins make it go that way down head first every time.
Exactly.
That's what fins are for.
So, but the one thing we're going to do, we're going to take some white tape, we're going to cover all of this, and we're going to dedicate these to every single person that's helped us, supported us, and allows us to continue to do what we do.
Same
And,
PayPal, buy me a coffees like we always do.
Yeah, except all this stuff is going to go into making more of these, making more drones, so that we can continue to work. Like I said earlier, man, like we don't get as much support anymore from the States. We're just going to take a little bit of improvisation to stay in this war. But we're Ukrainian, we're strong, we're going to do what we have to do.
You fucking right, you are.
Slava Ukrainian, baby.
Heroim Slava. Show me here. I'm just really impressed here. Show me an RPG round. Have you launched an RPG round yet?
Yeah, these aren't the exact same ones that you're gonna.
What sort of drone do you got to get to fly with that kind of weight though?
This is a big boy drone. You're gonna need either like a 10-inch or like a 12-inch, depending. These are heavy.
Yeah.
These are gonna be really tough to lift. There's specific drones that make that we don't specialize in these kind of drones. They're too big. We fly about 7-inch, 10-inch, different kinds of drones in that nature, and this is much too big for that. These are more for well, bigger drones. Ag drones, like agricultural drones.
Yeah, sure.
This place
We've got some in here, son, for the river.
Yep.
But-
So these things don't just work for, like I said, FPVs. There's munitions here for bacs. There's munitions here for all kinds of drones. I just happen to be an FPV guy.
Of course.
So, but these are kind of like typically the more common kinds of munitions, whether you're going to do the kamikaze drop way,
Yeah.
or if you're going to do the drop systems.
Sure.
So, yeah, welcome to life, baby.
All these munitions that, I mean, the infantry is really struggling for its role these days.
Well, I mean, what's the point? I mean, like, what's the point of having somebody get close enough to throw a grenade, or get somebody close enough to shoot an RPG, when you can do it from 10, 15, 20 kilometers behind enemy lines, and or I'm sorry, behind your lines, and fly quite a bit of a distance. You're just you're keeping yourself in a safer place. Drone pilots are, I'm not tooting my horn or anything, but it takes a long time to train them. It takes a long time to develop the discipline that you need in order to be able to fly that kind of distance and to be able to operate these kind of machines. They're valuable, and right now they're a big target.
Yeah.
So the safer that we can keep ourselves by being able to fly longer and further, you know, the better chance we have of staying alive and obviously continue to work and killing more Peters for a dead.
Until they stop coming.
Exactly.
Thanks, brother. We've got a lot of work to do over the next few days. You've got a lot of work to do. Well,
For the rest of this war.
you've been in here many times, though. Like,
Yeah. Too many to count.
and can you make anything yourself?
Yeah, some of the stuff I try not to. I try to stay in my own realm. We have specialists who do this, who can do it safely.
Yeah.
Who can do it without putting other people in danger.
Sure.
So,
And they make everything.
everything.
Everything. What's the oven for?
Good choice, huh? No, just a heater.
Oh.
Uh,
Just like my grandfather's workshop when I was a kid, only more interesting. Cool. Cool. Why is there a spring coil on this model?
so there's a plus and a minus. One is connected to the plus, one is connected to the minus.
Yes.
Essentially, when those two touch, it goes off. That little clip right there is basically like a safety. So you stick like a credit card in there, a piece of paper, something that slides out easy. It's a string to a piece of rock, and it's kind of like a safety so that you don't, well, you know, touch a live explosive while it's running. Like
Sure.
a little bit of wind or something can make those coils move. Like so, basically, when this touches this, it detonates.
Oh, yeah.
That's a detonation. When the detonators and everything's in there.
No problem.
Yeah,
Cool.
Cool concept.
So what have we got here, Oleg?
So those are chips for detonation. Basically detonators.
Detonator chips.
Initiators for the detonation.
What's this battery? Like, that's more than a 7800. That's a big one.
84.
8400.
Or 83. I think it's 84.
You have to work under a microscope.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff.
Like a lot of solder. There's a lot of soldering to be done. A lot of
Exactly.
fine tools.
Yep.
It's more than just a hobby.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This man's a legend. He put together one of our drones. Like, he's been working on our bombers. So.
How many a day can he assemble? If he has the components.
Скільки ви за день можете скласти фідишок, якщо у вас є всі компоненти, які потрібні?
Штучки 3 точно.
Десь 3? Like 3 for sure.
Это полная сборка и настройка.
Like full setup, full assembly.
Mm-hmm. Ready to go.
Да, конечно, конечно.
Можно, да.
Дякую.
So basically what he was explaining, full capacity when you're making these drones, full force, when you have everybody in their proper roles, guys soldering, guys programming, guys doing, their roles, you can make anywhere from 25, 30, even more drones a day. If they have all the components that they need. Right now, again, the biggest thing that they're missing is actual
Components.
Yeah,
Components.
And that changes the name of the game there. So, дякую. Скільки ще за це?
6900.
Дивись, я скажу, плюс-мінус.
Добре.
І що можна, що не можна.
25 to 30 drones a day.
Добре.
Плюс.
Imagine if 15 of those hit their target. Nothing. These are the mine launchers.
Yeah.
And we're having success with them?
So, it's us right now. They've been used on mission, but there have been problems with them.
Yeah.
But all those problems have been fixed. Testing already went well. We're just waiting to get them deployed.
Plus, plus.
4 окремих моторколеса. Тобто він повнопривідний.
These are full, how do I say, 4-wheel drive version of these.
4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Cool.
They have one motor in those. These ones have a motor for each one of the tires.
For each wheel.
Yeah.
And these are the mine layers.
Yeah.
And you run them off a TX12, just the same as anything.
Yeah. Cool. You can use these to transport ammo to
Yeah.
front lines. You can use this to transport food. You can use these to transport water. You can use this to transport like every time they change the radios.
The Canadians tried to sell us them for $12,000 each.
Yeah.
Розмінування, все інше.
Like deep mining, with deep mining, this is huge because how much a скільки один кій коштує зробити?
Отакі, блядь, до 60 тисяч гривень. До 60.
6 тисяч.
60
Тисяч доларів?
гривень. 8
тисяч
доларів.
1,5.
Yeah.
1005.
So what our friend was just saying here, this isn't just a place where we fix Mavics and matrices and all this other crap. Not crap, you know what I mean. But this is a place where information gets spread. He's just giving examples like when there was guys sitting inside of a blindage, warming their feet. He was standing outside by a tree with a gray remote, flying like this, so he has better signal. Well,
Yes.
They have these antennas that allow him to fly, like 5-10 clicks in front of them instead of, again, how far the remote allows you to fly with just the regular antennas.
Yes.
He didn't know about this, but if that he did, that would have changed the game. He would have been
A long time ago.
Yeah, he would have been a lot safer. So that's one of the biggest things about this center. Is it's not just to repair Mavics. It's not just to get them in working shape.
Exchange of knowledge.
It's the exchange of knowledge. I have a really good example of this. Actually, one of our friends, she was flying drones, and she didn't even know that the drones had to be anonymized to put like in so that they can't track where she is. And she was wondering, like, she flew out her first Mavic.
Even I know that.
Yeah, well, she flew out with her first Mavic. And some people don't. And 10 minutes later,
It got spicy.
it got spicy. Did it again. She went to another AO. Did the same thing. Didn't know she had to anonymize. Boom. Same thing. The third time. And then she realized, I'm not doing something right. There's something wrong.
Something I ain't doing right, babe.
Yeah. And then that's when, again, people like that are in danger, and like thank God she's alive. But other people, they don't need to put themselves at that kind of risk. Centers like this, brigades that have this kind of tech, that know how to properly use it, they have a much bigger advantage and they have much better reconnaissance than other units that don't. And I'm not saying every unit in Ukraine doesn't know how to do this, but there's definitely still a lot of people that are new to this world that are just not aware of it. So that's one of the big advantages to this, facility, so, similar to this. So.
Yeah, plus.
Plus.
А от, з цим трошки складніше, але тут...
He was saying earlier, these drones, these are all broken drones. There's a bunch of problems like you just saw with that drone, with the camera, with the, it looks like it's, not operational. Although, that's a very simple fix if you have the right parts and the ability to put it back together. Do you know how many drones Ukraine has gotten? How many drones people have purchased? In my personal experience, like on Instagram and all this stuff, I see a collection for a drone probably like 10 to 15 times a day.
You see that alone?
Alone.
Just you, and you're hardly on.
And I'm never on. But we're talking like, I would say probably at this point, I don't know, I can't really put a perspective. 100,000 plus drones have been imported to this country that are probably broken in this kind of condition right now. And there's just not the parts to fix them. Importing parts versus drones will have a higher impact because it'll get these drones back up and running. And instead of paying $3,000 for a new Mavic 3E or a 3 Pro or something like that,
$3,000 could potentially repair how many drones?
15 to 20.
So we could get 15 drones back running for the price of one.
Yeah.
Plus. Point made. No, thank you. All right, Oleg, давай.
Hey, let's play guess the age game because Brandon says I look 40. I want to know what other people think.
I thought you were only 24, but this war just destroyed you.
But here's two antennas, or I'm sorry, two remotes for a Mavic. This is one that comes standard.
Standard.
These are the antennas here. This is one that comes with the modified antennas. There's two receivers, two transmitters. They can be connected to an antenna that's sitting somewhere outside.
Yes.
Again, so you're not flying in the open. Plus, you have
So I can just sit down in the root cellar.
Yeah.
I principi.
Exactly. With these kind of antennas, the strength, you'll be able to more easily fly through trees.
Yes.
You'll also be able to fly longer distances, and obviously from a safer location, which will, at the end of the day, result in more pilots alive, more reconnaissance done, and win for Ukraine.
So we modified to the way we like it. We stop buying new, stop buying standard, because we have enough stuff here and we modded it to shit.
Yeah.
More or less.
I mean, there's other people like, maybe that might not have them. So like, I'm not saying that sometimes a Mavic doesn't need to be purchased, but I'm just saying there's places like this that have hundreds of them. Places that have hundreds of them.
Yes, I do. I know a few.
And instead of buying a brand new Mavic, talk to these guys, get the parts that they need, send them the parts. You're gonna have 15, 20 times more impact than buying a brand new one.
Plus. Thank you.
Це все магія відбувається.
This is where all the magic happens, he says.
Причому, що в дійсності, до речі, якраз можу продемонструвати, собственно, для того, щоб... Звичайного Мавіка.
So he's saying this is the camera for just a regular Mavic.
Yeah.
Загальний модуль.
This is the general model.
Yes.
Just a regular Mavic. Classic.
Собственно, сама камера, шлейф. Так, зараз один візьму. Ось. І всі оці деталі знаходяться на шляху.
And all these little details you obviously see all around here are all the little tools for the exterior and little bolts and screws that consist of a Mavic camera.
Тобто, раз, два, три. Тобто, щоб... Це можеш не казати, це просто так для вас.
Yeah. So essentially this is a power cable. This transmits power to the three motors inside of this little gimbal that allow the camera to move.
Yes.
All this stuff here, you'll see all the screws, all the little pieces that kind of make up the
componentry.
Yeah.
Drone shit.
Yeah, drone shit. Sorry, man. I'm really
It's
tired.
okay. So am I.
It's been a long day. But yeah. the process itself, I mean, you know, if you were able to sit down and you look at this,
Yes.
it's very complicated. A couple months ago, these guys didn't know the hell they were doing either. It was just 3 guys sitting in a basement trying to fix the drones that they had because they didn't have the money to buy more.
Of course.
Again, it was just 3 smart guys that expanded this into something much bigger.
Something bigger.
And allowed the all the different brigades and battalions in the AO to profit from this, to benefit from this.
To benefit from this.
Власними силами, скажімо так, саме головне питання, що це все недалеко від лінії фронту. Це колись у мене вийшов дуже...
So, what we were just covering over the last couple days, we had a chance to check out some of these laboratories scattered all over the East. These kind of laboratories are essential for the war effort. For a drone, once it's broken, to be taken to an actual proper repair shop somewhere in Kyiv or somewhere where they repair drones takes about 4 or 5 days. To get a drone anonymized, you know, in certain areas, sometimes it takes a week. Sometimes you don't have that much time. Sometimes you need to get a drone in there and you have to do proper reconnaissance. A hub like this can get a drone back in there in about a day. Get it anonymized, or even a new drone. A new drone gets brought here, the antenna gets made, the remote gets, the antenna is obviously how do I say, the modules for the antenna
Yes.
are made so that you can fly for distance, you can fly more effectively. Again, you can pick up the munitions form.
Yes.
Again, you can fix them, anonymize them. You can do everything in one spot, and you can all do it all in one day. And sometimes time is crucial, especially in war. So a hub like this is really beneficial. I would always, I'd recommend investing in places like this versus just drones. There's no reason to just purchase a drone. It's going to have to go through a place like this. When these guys have the means and the way to do this all a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently, cheaper, just all around. I mean, you see where I'm going here, right?
I see where you're going.
Yeah, my apologies again, man. I've been out here for the last couple of days, a lot of work, so, but you know, you get the point.
I'm feeding you burgers and shashlik. All right, brother.
So last couple of days, I've been taking you around the drone world here in RAO. You got a chance to see the drone workshop. A couple of villages down, you got to see the munitions home. 30 minutes later,
We've been all across Donbass.
all across Donbass, you got to see this Mavic workshop.
Some places I've driven by 1,000 times and never knew existed.
The beauty of this, though, is it's all close enough where if you need to fix a drone, you come to the Mavic house. You come
Yes.
to the drone house. All the work is done for free. 90% of it. I mean, there's
Yes.
some parts that you know that are broken. Sometimes that just need to get replaced. It's all done by pilots who have flown Mavics, who understand these systems. These are people, experts in their own field.
Yes.
And the best part, again, it's all done in one place. To get a drone anonymized, to get a drone fixed, to get a bunch of stuff done, sometimes takes like 5 days. So to get a drone anonymized, you got to send it to a guy who does it somewhere in Kyiv or in Lviv.
And
then
he
you
works
gotta-
on Kiev and Lviv time.
Yeah, and he works
Like our old radio programmer in Lviv. Zavtra.
yeah, and then
Zaraz, motherfucker.
and like 5-7 days later, it comes back. But sometimes 5 to 7 days is like it's too much time. You need to have a drone in the sky. You need to have eyes on that.
Yes.
Same thing with like a drone repair. Sometimes drone repair, if you send it off somewhere, there's a line. It could take anywhere from like a simple fix, like 3 days because
Yes.
of Nova postal times, up to a week because of the parts. There's hundreds of broken drones that can be repaired, parts taken to make other
That need
drones
to be
work,
repaired, that are waiting to be repaired.
that are waiting to go back to doing good work.
I've seen this from Lviv to here. I've been in drone houses. He's got 100 Mavics just sitting there. Just sitting there.
Yep, and again, the cost of like buying a new Mavic, you can fix a lot more. There's like thousands and thousands and thousands of these drones in country, and there's no need to purchase more and more and more drones. Well, there is. Don't get me wrong. We're gonna need a lot more, but also investing in places like this, it just makes more sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like the drones are. What's the point of buying a product and having? It's kind of like you have 10 cars sitting in the parking lot that are broken.
It's like me fixing all my cars before I go home and give them away.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
just leaving a
Yeah,
pile
yeah,
of pile of shit
Yeah.
around me. Yeah,
Same concept.
taking care of what's around me.
Yeah, let's take care of the parking lot, guys. And then again, same thing with like the munition house. You don't know how to make munitions. You go there, you tell them what you need. They teach you. The knowledge is one of the biggest things. But again, the resources are there. You're not buying this munition or anything like that. You tell them what you need. You bring them like UXO.
Whatever you got, you bring them a
get.
mortar round. You bring them an RD round.
And it gets made into something a little bit more effective, a little bit more accurate.
Yes.
Obviously, with drones, you get more control in that.
Just like video games when you upgrade your weapons and you ask your mom, can I use the credit card for Fortnite? Same shit. That's why you guys are fighting this war. Mom, can I have your credit card? I need a new skin.
Oh yeah. And then like the FPV house, which you saw like yesterday. The FPV house is, I mean, it's beautiful. It's not just drones. They make all kinds of drones on different frequencies, on different systems. They can modify them to be droppers. They can modify them to carry more weight. They can modify them to carry less weight so they can go further or faster depending on the AO.
Yes.
And AOs change. So you can't just have one type of drone made in Kiev or one type of drone made in Lviv and sent to Donbass or something, because no matter what, that drone still needs to get modified to a certain frequency. That drone still needs to get modified. Sometimes the video card needs to get changed to work with a certain type of antenna that you're using. Because it's like a shitty video card, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, let's just make the cheapest possible drone. Cheapest possible drone is great if you're trying to fly like 7 kilometers or 5 kilometers or something like that. But if you're trying to fly like 20 kilometers or 25 kilometers and actually have some effective range, you need to have good quality parts. And depending on the needs of each FPV team, these drones change. So again, having all that stuff in one place, having the ability and the specialists to do this, I mean, this is what's going to make a big difference in the war. So, yeah, welcome to my world.
This is the war right now.
Yeah. So.
This is the war. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
God, when I start, I can't stop. I've recorded this 4 times and I can't get it under 20 minutes. I'm so angry. So I'm just going to leave it at this. When Oleg talks about drone components and how we can repair 15 Mavics, and we have thousands of them all across the country, we can repair 15 Mavics for the price of one Mavic Pro, and probably 20-25 for a Mavic Thermal. That's good sense. That makes sense. That's good money to positively affect the war. But I'll tell you why most people will never support that. Because it's not tangible, People want to see something. They want to see something that you can hold in your hands, a sense of agency. That's my drone that I contributed to. But when the components get spread out to all the drone shops, you lose that. And the problem is we are democracies and we vote on emotion. Why do I get so many donations? One of the reasons, which does not credit myself, is people don't have someone else to deliver it to, and they trust me. Not that I need it the most. I give your money to other volunteers, and to my credit, I don't know anybody who does that. As great as Harley, I've never got a penny off him. He's fantastic. Joe's never given me a penny. A lot of other people, I used to have people attack me online. You need to help her. I was like, well, if you know about it, she's got like 5 times the Buy Me a Coffee subscribers than me. And why do I have to help her? Can't I help Volva or Dima or Sasha and you don't even know about them? I give Max from the flashback 2 generators. They needed them. I've given them thermal scopes. They needed them. I've given them NVGs. They need them. But why do I choose him over someone else who needs them the same or possibly even more? Because I'll get more support next month from you guys. That's the truth. Not that they don't deserve them. And that's the balancing act, because we're democracies and people support with emotion. They have their own opinions. That's why NAFO convoys are so successful. Jake Bro, over $1 million in 8 days. And you can trust Jake. You're going to laugh at this, but there's people I've declined to be associated with on the internet. And I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but it didn't feel right. But Jake Bro is a person I feel I've seen into his soul. For any camera time we've had together, we've had about 3 times that in private. But people want to support that because it's a simple concept. They grasp it. But if you try to fund like a repair shop, for volunteers, like to fix those cars that break, that's infinitely harder. And that makes sense. And that makes a lot of sense. And you know it does, because you watch my channel after all this time. You know, that's the stuff I talk about. But we're losing the war. You know, we are losing the war. It's not lost. It's far from lost. And I believe we can still win. But every Ukrainian that dies, a good Ukrainian, and there's a lot of bad shit Ukrainians out there. Nobody's ever talking about that, are they? No, not in NAFO, not in the Ukraine YouTube community. It's not in my interest to talk about that we're losing right now, that there's bad Ukrainians out there. There's bad everybody in the world. You know, just being Ukrainian doesn't give you a pass. But we vote with emotion, with our own self-interest. I see this with the donations for things. Most things are very good, but they could be done a lot better, and somebody else might do it. It's more complicated, the concept, but it saves a lot more money and it's more efficient, but they don't really get the support. Like how Andre fixes the potholes. You know, I probably spent, I'd say about $40,000 of your money just on repairs, either from mine or other people that I send them transfers all the time. And I ask them, can you please do a fucking video for me in landscape mode so I can just show where the money's going? And sometimes I don't even show them anymore because I don't like showing those verticals. I just put them on Instagram. But it's like, you know, people won't support that. So I've got to support that. You know, people want to support foreigners in Ukraine. Well, how much support do they get? Well, they're not telling you. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. But it's like, if you support Ukraine aid ops, for example, I talked to the CEO. I said, why do you give so much to Kraken? Why do you give so much to 93 Brigade? I knew the answer. I was carting off a 200 with Panda. And we've been postponing this call for like 2 days. And he said, Brandon, we have to give to them, because if we give to a lesser known brigade who doesn't give us a good social media, or people haven't heard about them on Twitter, then like next month we have 20% less money. Not saying the Kraken doesn't deserve, but there's a third assault tax. There's a Kraken tax. There's a 93 Brigade tax. That's how it works, because we're supported by people online who try to understand the best they can, you know, but it's democracy. You know, people vote on recognition. $1, one vote, right? And our governments are no damn better. When I've been to Parliament twice, in the UK and Sweden, and the Swedish government's only giving 5-year spending projections for the defense budget. And the defense industry was so based and so honest. You know, their responsibility is not to the nation, the defense industry, it's to the shareholder. They need 20-year guarantees, and they need the government to change their laws on open procurement, because they can't turn profit on the factories that they need to build. They need to meet the demands to supply Ukraine and to supply Europe and America. It's the same. You know, you guys don't get a pass because it's the shareholders who run the defense companies, not the nation, not the interest of the nations. They need 20-year guarantees, and they need the countries to end open procurement. You know what I mean? So a closed system, that's undemocratic, isn't it? But that's what they need, and they're not getting it. You know, so that's where we're weak at government. That's where we're weak at organizations that support Ukraine. And I don't even count United 24, okay? I'm talking your NAFOs. I'm talking your Ukraine aid ops, the big ones. I'm talking about Quartermaster for Ukraine, who I work for. And I got to be honest, you know, we're not perfect. We got our problems. But most of the things like that Tilda and I want get implemented as much as we can on a Swedish level here, because there's the concept of time in hours and days in Donbass, weeks in Kiev, sometimes months, and definitely months here in Sweden and the rest of Europe. You know, so we're doing the best we can with that, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but it's just how do people understand, you know? And Russia is not a democracy. Russia has Putin and a very small circle, and what they want, they get. Within their limitations, they do so much. But we're losing. We're losing, and people act like they're winning. And, you know, you get these intellectual circles, university circles. I'm apolitical. I voted left, I voted right, but it's a very left narrative. It's like, stand with Ukraine. You know, people have turned it into their goddamn virtue signal, you know, for LGBT rights, for animals, for things like that. I think that's great, but that's great after we win, not when we're losing. We have no time for that. I'm sad to say, we have no time for that. Absolutely none, you know. I know somebody in Ukraine that has over 3 medals, has only ever seen 2 weeks of potential combat, but they're a gender activist. Even got a medal from Zaluzhny. See, we're into that stuff too. You know, it doesn't deserve a medal. You know, I know people that lose a leg. It deserves an award, a certificate, not a medal. You know, podyakas, you get a podyaka for anything. They mean nothing. I've got 2 of them. You know, Andre gives me one. I don't want that. It's kind of insulting, honestly. It's like, I give it, it's not my money anyway. I have to spend it and I give it because I want to. I don't want this fucking piece of paper. You know, and it's like there's people in Kiev, they got 50 of them. You know what I mean? 50 of them. I don't know anybody beyond a major. That's why I don't have many of them. If I gave to a colonel or if I gave to a general, you know, it looks good. It's all about optics. Optics, and optics is killing Ukraine now, you know. They're making decisions based on optics. Russia doesn't. And this is our democracies, you know. It's a big problem, and that's why people aren't going to support drone components as a whole. I'm going to try my best. You know, I'm going to go meet Artur Rehi tomorrow, and you know, as big as his platform is, he's not raised as much as me with my little platform. You know, he gets 50 to 100 times the views I do, but he's done very, very good, and me and Artur have come to like each other. But I want to, we're fundraising for a truck together with NAFO, and I can get my own trucks cheaper. But NAFO is a powerful machine that enables so many people who can't do otherwise. And their work must continue, and they do it at such scale. But I want to see if there's maybe some possibility for the future that maybe me and Artur together, that we can do better, you know. But that's the thing. It's not in my interest to say we're losing. But so many people are acting like they're winning. And there's a lot of Slava Ukraine. There's a lot of nice dinners. There's a lot of nice champagne. There's a lot of artists that make good art about Ukraine since the war. They're doing great. There's a lot that make things that's objectively crap. And they're also doing very well, you know. Right down to the Ukrainian diaspora, to people in Kiev, as close as Dnipro, even to people like Dom Nichols on the Telegraph. Well, when I was in Iraq 20 years, shut the fuck up. You know, the speech he made at the US Embassy was disgusting, and me and Irina were disgusted. I guess I'm never getting on the Telegraph again, but I'm good with the Times. But yeah, that's why it's so hard for these drone houses for us to win, because people will always, more money will get thrown into new Mavics, because it's emotion, it's individuals, and it's democracy. Yeah, I got it down to 12 minutes. I've talked this same story to the camera for up to 20 minutes 5 times now. It don't make sense. Don't make sense to me. It makes perfect sense. We're humans.